Let's be serious. If this really is my last job, I gotta stop giving them the best parts of me. I gotta be true to my word. I promised them a certain level of job production, job performance for what they're paying me. But it's time for me to take some of my life back. And I'm going to stop donating my life to a job I'm ultimately preparing to leave. This is not a career track for me anymore. This is simply me exchanging my time for this tool that's getting me down the road for my plan. Because I got a plan. So, what if we still give them what they want, but not my personal standards and beliefs? If we continue to give them good work, not over the top, look at me, please promote me work, but good work. Wonder what would happen. I'm going to find out. This being my last job is not 100% because I woke up one day and said, I'm going to retire early. No. It was slow. It was gradual. It started off with I took this job with the understanding I would have some baked in flexibility to be able to commute back and forth to see my husband on a regular basis, and I would keep working from there. I didn't want to go there and do nothing. I didn't want to ride the clock being a salaried employee. I didn't want them to just pay me because I wanted to go back home. No, I'd take my computer and I'd still give them their 10, 12, 14-hour days is what I was giving them at the time. This worked for a while until it didn't. They took it away. And shame on me, okay? Young ones, listen up. You get an agreement, at least get an email. So it stands up at least in the court of business that you're in to show somebody I'm doing this because so and so and so and so on this date told me I could. But there was also a baked in agreement when I took this job because I relocated myself from New England back down here to take this job in this downtown location under the understanding that I would not work traditional hours. That was explicitly discussed. I would be allowed to come in early and leave early to get ahead of traffic in both directions because in downtown Houston, you do not want to be caught down here when there's multiple sporting events, concerts, and everybody else going home. It gets a little congested down here. And the longer it takes you to get out of the downtown corridor and get on the road headed to wherever you may live on the giant clock face that is Houston, sometimes it can take me 4.5 hours to go 26 miles. And I'm 72 miles from here. I've had a 6-hour drive home before. So when they took away the flexibility without me having to beg for it, because I did ultimately, I wouldn't say beg for it, but I did put my foot down and almost had a temper tantrum. But I remembered that I'm a grown-up and I'm also a lady. So at the end of the day, if they weren't going to let me have the flexibility to do that for all sorts of reasons, but the one card I did play in the afternoon and early evening to see my mother as I'm taking care of her when she's going down with these memory issues. So I played the game for a couple of months. And when I saw the toll it was taking on her and I was getting the feedback from the staff, what an impact this had, that was when I put my foot down. It is either back to amended hours. It doesn't have to be as extreme as it once was, but you've at least got to let me come in by this time and leave at that time. But regardless of when I think I may be leaving this job, regardless of what my personal plan is for how much more I need to stack up, pay off, put in a peace fund, how much longer I want to be able to contribute to my company's 401k and get their match. My plan is my plan. You should know your plan. If you do not know what your plan is, you first got to know what your number is, what your monthly amount is you need right now to live on. Go to the description, master your money plan. This will take you to the Retirement Resource Center at my website, and in there is also Life Experiences to Income Workbook. You need that as well, because if you're anything like me and this is your last job, you would like to be able to get out of here sooner than later. And getting out of here does not necessarily mean that you're going to quit working. None of us are quitting anything, okay? That is not a word. And we've worked too long, too hard quitting something we did back in our teens and 20s and possibly our 30s, but definitely not now. We are evolving past this job. But for me, especially, I know, excuse me as I scratch my nose, I know that I don't want to stop working. I enjoy making money. I'm not going to lie to you, and I bet you do too. I enjoy the things it can buy for me. I can enjoy the extras I can do for other people, the donations I can make. I would love to be in a position of a millionaire trying to go broke, giving of everything that I have in order to help a dog rescue or an animal rescue in general, or the folks less lucrative than I am. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but I would love to be in a position to where I could give more than I do. So with that said, you got to know your number. What is your current monthly amount you need, and what's it going to take for your retirement? And those are two different numbers. A lot of what you pay for now is going to disappear, but you're going to pick up some other expenses in retirement. So figure out your number today, start paying off debt, figure out what your retirement number is, and then here is a way to give yourself a raise. Start living on your retirement budget. And then that way, you've just unleashed all this extra money, shaking it loose from your own personal money tree, and you can start paying things off and getting to your ultimate destination faster. We're not trying to be lazy. No, we're not. We're just realizing our energy is a commodity that we didn't agree to sell to them when we took this job. My energy, outside of my standards as far as what I agreed to give them when I took the job for the amount they're paying me, the rest of that energy, I'm not tossing at them anymore. They are not a charity. And honestly, they can't pay me enough for the balance of my energy. It is too precious to me. As we continue to age, this energy is going to become more and more valuable. So start guarding yours now, because it's difficult to get it back, and it's difficult to rejuvenate it. It takes me longer to recover from a hard work week now than it used to. So the energy I have, I'm saving it for me and my passion projects, the people in my life, the travel that I have to do to go and see my husband or take care of my mother. Your energy is priceless. Stop giving it to them. And I don't necessarily think this cops aren't coming for me, but they're coming for somebody. Nope, they're closer. I thought they found somebody. And they're okay. So to wrap this up, because yeah, I'm a little fired up about this. I do not plan, I hold no illusions that when I leave, somebody's going to erect a monument or put my picture on the wall and everybody's going to say, I was lucky enough to work with her. No, no, you're not. Within 30 minutes after I'm gone, I'm not going to be missed. There'll be a few people who might think, oh, yeah, Jen, I wonder how she's doing. But the majority of them, once you're gone, you're gone. But I do want to leave well. For those who might think of me, for those who might remember or tell somebody in their life that I once worked with this woman, she was a lot of fun, she was a little bit bombastic, a little bit irreverent, but at the end of the day, she did a great job and she taught me a lot. That is how I want to be remembered. So I'm not eroding my legacy. I'm just simply not over contributing anymore. I have a plan for an exit. It's several years, so if you're my bosses or my coworkers listening to this, guess what? I will be leaving before I'm 70, okay? I'm 58 today. But with that said, it doesn't mean it's happening tomorrow. I will continue to do a great job. I will continue to help where I can, but I'm protecting my energy. I am focusing on myself. You will get 100% of what you've paid for as long as I can stand it. And that is the bottom line. That's the bottom line. As long as I can stand it till I reach these mile markers on my own plan, I'm here. But after that, I'm gone. So I can do this job without giving them my whole life. And I want you to take a minute too and figure out what your plan is. You got to know your number. You got to know what you've saved. You've got to figure out what debt you've got. Do you want to keep working? And if so, what does that look like? And then let's map out how much longer it's going to take for you to get out of here. All right, this has been a Jigger of Jen. I'm Jen. I got a little to say about a lot of stuff. All of it has to do with how we can make sure we're confident and ready to get out of here for retirement or whatever the next chapter is in your life. Like, share, subscribe. Keep coming back. Share this video with somebody in your life you know who needs it. I post on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I will see you soon. Stop recording. The next thing was there was also an unwritten was when I started showing up later. It was a significant impact on her, and I couldn't stand to see that. Now, I am doing a Jigger of Jen here, and you know I edit very little, but you're going to hear the yard workers outside. I'm in a parking garage about 5 floors up, but downtown everything echoes. This is probably in bloopers, maybe.